What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have India strikes Pakistan in response to Pahalgam attack. It has finally happened. India has made their move. I think we started to see it coming. We saw the signs in the videos that we've been reacting to lately. Let's hear what happened in the video, what Paki Sharma's got to say. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button to receive your exclusive benefits. And let's get right to it.
India has struck Pakistan 2 weeks after the Pahalgam attack, 2 weeks after 26 innocent lives were taken. India has delivered justice to the victims. Pahalgam was the deadliest attack on Indian soil since 26/11, and today India has responded with force,
Yeah, they
precision,
did.
and purpose. The
Perfect.
strike happened at 1:44 a.m. Indian Standard Time. That's when the Indian Armed Forces launched
144.
Operation Synindhur. This is a defining
Oh
moment, a historic strike. All three services of the Indian Armed Forces were mobilized. The Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. All were involved. Together, they destroyed 9 targets in Pakistan.
yeah, they
All of
did.
them along the line of control, which is the de facto border between India and Pakistan. Each target, each of the
Dang.
9 targets was chosen carefully. 5 were located in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and 4 were deep inside Pakistan. Muzaffarabad was struck twice, followed by Kotli, Gulpur, Bhimber, Sialkot, Muridke, and Bahawalpur. These are the 9 sites that were attacked. No civilian sites in Pakistan were hit. No military bases were touched. India targeted
Shout
only.
out to India, bro. They said no civilians, you know what I'm saying, were attacked. No Pakistan base military bases were attacked. They attacking the terrorists. They are hitting precision targets where terrorists are located. You feel me? So this ain't a war against Pakistan. This is a war against the terrorism in Pakistan. So to me, Pakistan shouldn't, the military at least, shouldn't have any reason to try to retaliate or anything. Not that, I mean, even if you wanted to, going to war with India just is not a smart move for Pakistan. It's absolute terrible move. But shout out to India because, bro, if you steal people's lives, innocent people's lives who done nothing, like, bro, you gotta face justice. Like that's gonna come back around. Karma is real, and that came back around. And India precisely attacked these terrorist sites, and these terrorists faced the justice. If you ask me,
The terror camps, the hubs of cross-border terrorism based in Pakistan, like Muridke. This is the headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Muridke is home to Hafiz Saeed, the mastermind of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. He is a UN designated terrorist,
wow,
and he is behind the Pahalgam attack too.
dang, oh really?
Hafiz Saeed leads a group called Lashkar-e-Toiba. It is a parent body of the Resistance Front, TRF, the Resistance Front, and this front carried out the Pahalgam terror attack. This explains the strike on Muridke, the headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Similarly, striking Bahawalpur was significant. It is in the Punjab province of Pakistan and a stronghold of Jaish-e-Mohammed. This outfit is run by Masood Azhar. Again, he is a UN designated terrorist. More than 30 years ago, he was arrested in India for terror activities but had to be released after the Kandahar hijacking of an Indian Airlines flight.
Wow,
Then we come to the strikes in Sialkot and Kotli. They were aimed at camps of Hizbul Mujahideen. All 9 strikes were carried out from Indian soil. At no point did the Indian forces cross the line of control.
oh wow,
Yet every target was hit with precision.
yeah, they were.
The government of India has released a statement to describe the operation as, and I'm quoting, focused, measured, and non-escalatory in nature.
Yeah,
The statement stressed on India's cautious approach as well as its clear intent. It mentions how India did not target Pakistan's military.
Mm-hmm.
Only the terrorist sites were hit. In fact, let me quote from the official statement of India. The Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Synindhur, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where attacks against India have been planned and directed. Altogether, 9 sites have been targeted. Our actions have been focused, measured, and non escalatory in nature. No Pakistani military facilities have been targeted. India has demonstrated considerable restraint.
I
India has
agree.
demonstrated
I
considerable
agree.
restraint in selection of targets and method of execution. These steps come in the wake of the barbaric Pahalgam terrorist attack in which 25 Indians and 1 Nepali citizen were murdered. We are living up to the commitment that those responsible for this attack will be held accountable.
That's
This
good. And I agree. It is non-escalatory, and India has showed considerable restraint, absolute considerable restraint. So, and my thing is, Pakistan, y'all have a military. Why are there 9 terrorist camps? And I'm sure there are probably more. These are just the ones that India hit along the line of control and then one deep into Pakistan. Why haven't y'all done anything about these camps? Why haven't y'all destroyed these camps yourself? Right? Especially after the Pahalgam attack and all the other attacks that have come out of the country. Why have you not got guys not held these terrorists responsible? If India's gonna have to do what India's got to do, and it sounds like India definitely sent the message. Now let's see what happens from here.
is what the Indian official statement on the strike says. Also significant is how India went about this operation. All key allies were kept informed. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval took the lead here. He reached out to India's strategic partners.
Hmm.
Among them was the United States. They briefed the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, that is basically the American foreign minister.
Okay.
Ajit Doval briefed him after the operation. And that perhaps explains why Rubio was among the first world leaders to issue a statement on the Indian strike. We also heard from the US president since, Donald Trump. He spoke last night, and he
Oh.
called on both sides to reduce tensions.
Mm-hmm.
Reports say 4 countries were briefed, 4 other countries apart from the US. That's Russia, Saudi
Okay.
Arabia, the UK, and the UAE.
Okay.
They were briefed about this operation. Now let's look at the response from Pakistan. What is Pakistan saying?
That's what I
It
want to
has
know.
threatened retaliation. Pakistan's Prime Minister issued a statement, that's Shehbaz Sharif. He called the Indian strikes an act of war. And
Wow.
he threatened to quote unquote respond forcefully. I must add here
Oh my
that
God.
Pakistan's version of events is riddled with misinformation and falsehoods.
Hmm.
Islamabad claims that civilians were targeted by India, that,
I don't
that it
believe
has shot
that.
down 5 Indian jets inside the Indian airspace. This claim has no basis. Pakistan also claims that it brought down a drone, again unsubstantiated. Despite this narrative war, India is exercising caution. International airlines are now diverting routes. They're avoiding Pakistani airspace.
Oh wow.
In India, flight operations have been affected in the north. The Srinagar airport has suspended all civilian flights for now. The airfield is shut and precautionary measures are in place. Schools in 5 border districts of Jammu have been closed. India is staying alert and on guard.
Yeah, I absolutely don't believe that civilians were targeted in this. And Pakistan, man, you know, to declare war on India is dumb. For lack of a better term, it's dumb. It's unrealistic for you guys to think that you could fight against India. You don't have the manpower. You don't have the resources, the weapons. You're at a disadvantage in every way imaginable. India did not target your civilians. They did not target your military. They target your terrorists. It's not an act of war.
Such an attack does not happen overnight. It has to be planned meticulously. All bases must be covered, all services must be united, and all eventualities must be considered. So let's take a deep dive into India's Operation Synindhur. How was this operation planned? How was it carried out? And what weapons were used? The ball was set rolling by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He met the three defense chiefs last week. In that meeting, he gave a clear message. The armed forces have complete freedom. They can decide when, how, and where to attack. After that, the defense chiefs got to work. In subsequent meetings, they offered options to Prime Minister Modi, and the goal was clear. India had to re-establish deterrence. Officials felt the effect of the 2019 Balakot strikes had worn off, hence the daring attack on Pahalgam this month. So another strike had to be carried out by India. Now we come to the operation. They're calling it Operation Synindhur. This is a very expansive military campaign. Like we've been telling you, a total of 9 sites were hit, some in Pakistan and some in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. These locations were selected by India's intelligence agencies. All of them were chosen for a specific reason. The most important site that India struck was Bahawalpur. It's a city in Pakistan's Punjab. It is right across Rajasthan's Thar Desert. This city, Bahawalpur, is a stronghold of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, a terror group led by Masood Azhar. Azhar was born in Bahawalpur in 1968. He runs training and radicalization camps in the city. Some of the other targets were in POK, that is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Again, all home to terrorist camps. The operation was reportedly led by the National Security Advisor of India, that's Mr. Ajit Doval. He set up a special team to oversee this operation. Only a small group was aware of the attack. Once it was completed, the Prime Minister was briefed about it. Which brings us to the attack itself. And this is the most significant part. Reports say India did not enter Pakistani airspace, meaning the projectiles were all fired from India. And this is a key difference from 2019. During Balakot, Indian jets crossed into Pakistan. They dropped bombs on Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province.
Yes.
But this time it was different. As for the weapons, we do not have confirmation yet. We will have to wait for the Army's briefing.
Gotcha.
But some reports say that loitering munitions were used. Now, these are basically suicide drones. They carry warheads and hover over the target area. And once locked on, this drone crashes into the site. It's basically a suicide drone. That is how India reportedly mounted this attack. Again, this is a very significant operation. It is India's deadliest strike on Pakistan since the 1971 war.
Dang.
And yet it wasn't excessive.
That's crazy to think, though. Like, in 2019, they have to actually send jets over into Pakistan airspace to attack these sites. In 2025, now you can attach those missiles to drones. You can attach them to suicide drones who are going to crash into the site, and you never actually have to go and send any of your Air Force, any of your military, anybody into Pakistan to attack. Because one was deeper in Pakistan. One wasn't just along that line of control. So it also kind of goes to show and projects that, hey, like, we're capable of attacking at long distances, right? This ain't in 2019 we would have destroyed y'all, but today it'd be even worse.
Made it clear that only terrorists were targeted, not Pakistani civilians, not even Pakistani soldiers, only Pakistani terrorists. Plus, the strikes used precision weapons. The idea was to hit the targets using pinpoint accuracy. So New Delhi's message is pretty clear. We will hit back, but we will do so responsibly. Of course, the ball is now in Pakistan's court. Let's see if they recklessly climb this ladder of escalation,
They better not.
or whether they choose restraint.
They better not. They better choose restraint. You better choose restraint.
Like I said, what happens next depends on Pakistan. But one thing is quite clear. India is not waiting to find out. India is preparing for all eventualities. This morning, a nationwide civil defense drill kicked off. We told you about this yesterday, this mock drill that India was going to conduct, the first of its kind since the 1971 India-Pakistan war. The first time this drill is happening since 1971. It will be held across 244 districts in the country. We have 800 districts in India. 244 of them will see this mock drill.
Dang.
How are these districts selected? Each one is chosen for a number of reasons. Their proximity to the border with Pakistan, their strategic importance, their population density, and vulnerability along the coastline. These are all the factors that helped the authorities decide where to conduct the mock drill. 244 districts across India. The drill will simulate air raids, mass evacuations, bunker safety protocols, and training civilians to respond to worst-case scenarios.
Wow.
This is the aim, and there are 5 key measures. Number 1, civilians will be trained in basic survival tactics, like crawling under furniture or even finding shelter in basements. Number 2, air raid sirens will be tested nationwide. This is to warn civilians of incoming attacks. Number 3, blackout protocols. That means no lights. The idea is to make it harder for enemy jets to locate targets. Number 4, camouflaging critical infrastructure like power plants and military installations to make sure that the enemy does not target them. It is to throw off enemy targeting systems in case of an actual strike. You have to safeguard your key infrastructure. And number 5, updating and rehearsing evacuation plans. This is very important. Who goes where, how quick the response is, and how the resources are allocated. All of this has to be planned. Leading the charge is the National Disaster Response Force.
It's like, dang, like that. It's getting scary, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine, like, having to prepare for someone to attack. Like, that to me would be absolutely terrifying. For that to be looming over your head. What do y'all think about that? Please drop in the comment section. I would love to hear. Yeah, that's a little scary.
Of India and State Disaster Response Fund. Now remember, India is not a country that is used to frequent wars. So there are very few dedicated bunkers in our country, and we are a big country. 1.4 billion people. So makeshift shelters will have to be set up, like subways, basements, underground parking lots. This is all part of the preparation. There is no need to panic. It's best to be prepared for all scenarios. The Indian Air Force will also hold major border drills, and that starts today. This includes Rafale, Mirage 2000, and Sukhoi 30 jets. They will all be part of the drill of the Air Force. All of India's air defense units are also on high alert. Now, I know these are mock drills, but they're designed to mirror real wartime scenarios. And they come with a warning. So take them very seriously. Cooperate fully with authorities, and please stay alert. The last time this happened, India headed to war.
Jesus.
Now India has struck terror sites in Pakistan. We may or may not be heading down that road again of a full-blown war, but readiness is no longer optional.
Yeah, agreed. My days, my days.
These are dangerous times, not just at the border, but also on the internet. There's a flood of fake news online. Pakistani accounts are pushing old and doctored videos. Their agenda is to demoralize the Indian military, to spread panic in India. We'll try to bust some of those fake videos. There's a lot of fake news that is doing the rounds. Here's one such post by a senior Pakistani journalist. It shows a mangled fighter jet on the ground, and the claim that it was shot down by Pakistan this morning. That is the claim that they're making. In reality, this is a picture from 2021. It shows a MiG plane that crashed in India's Punjab. No dogfight, no Pakistani hand. This is fake.
Of course they're trying to spread.
Let's show you one more fake post. This time by China's CGTN. We are talking about Beijing's state-run media outlet, CGTN. They posted pictures of a fireball. And this is the claim that they're making, that Pakistan shot down Indian jets. Just one problem though, this picture is at least 3 weeks old. It was being peddled by Pakistani accounts towards the end of April. Back then it was supposed to be the line of control. Now it has become a crashed Indian jet. We say, make up your mind, Pakistan.
Yeah.
The third example is also that of a supposed jet crash. It shows a plane bursting into flames. Again, this is an old video. It dates back to a MiG crash in September 2024.
No.
Some of these videos are being used to make other claims too,
Of
that
course.
15 locations inside India were hit.
It's crazy to think like we do live in a day and age on people are going to create all this misinformation and false news on social media to help benefit their agenda. Uh, and then there's going to be a lot of people who actually believe it, like who don't do the research and don't look up when these pictures were actually or when these situations actually happened. But yeah, there's going to be definitely a lot of misinformation spreading.
That's the claim they've made. 15 locations hit in India. The Srinagar Air Base was targeted. That the Indian Army office was, one of the offices of the Indian Army was destroyed. All of it is fake news. This is part of Pakistan's psychological warfare. Their ministers are also part of this effort. They're going on foreign channels and they're all making false claims. Sometimes they say 5 Indian jets were shot down. Sometimes they say only 3 were shot down. But none of these claims make sense.
Yeah, they would all be claiming the
Pakistan
same
themselves
thing.
admit that India did not enter their airspace. So how were these Indian jets supposedly shot down? It simply does not add up. In the coming days, we need to double check what we see online. Use only trusted sources. Do not rely on random X accounts or WhatsApp forwards. And most importantly, do not amplify what you see. People have pointed out a new trend on social media. Pakistani users are pretending to be Indians on X and Instagram. These
Oh, wow.
accounts may
Of course
display
they
the
are.
Indian flag. Their names may resemble those of Indian veterans. But these are propaganda accounts.
Don't buy it.
Do not trust them blindly. Same for news agencies with an agenda. We just showed you an example of China CGTN. Their coverage will be colored by their politics and their
Of course.
agenda. So vigilance is the name of the game.
अगर उन्हें 4 की याद करेंगे तेरा मस्ती खाली दिवाली भाई हाँ देखना वाम कैसे आ रही है वहाँ से
Jeez Louise, bro.
अभी वीडियो क्या जो भी
That would be terrifying just driving along and seeing that, bro.
ये 9 नंबर
Would be insane.
The strategy and the effect of India's actions will be discussed in the coming days, and we'll get more details in the next few hours as well. But these strikes were also about justice. Justice and closure for families of those killed in Pahalgam. Remember, 26 civilians were shot in cold blood, 25 Indian citizens, 1 Nepali citizen. They were killed. Those memories will haunt their families forever. Some of them have reacted to today's strike, like the daughter of Santosh Jagdale. He was one of the victims in Pahalgam. Listen to what his daughter had to say.
ये नाम पढ़ के तो हम बहुत रो रहे थे सुबह और मुझे लगता है कि जो हमारे लोग मेरे पिताजी का या फिर जितने भी उधर बच्चे थे उन सबके पिताजी और जितनी भी औरतें थे उनके पतियों का जो मतलब जान ली गई
Agreed.
तो उनका ये मरण जो था वो
Agreed.
वेस्ट नहीं हुआ और मुझे लगता है ये उनके लिए आज सच में दी गई एक श्रद्धांजलि है जो भारत ने एयर स्ट्राइक करके की है.
That is absolutely what it is, a tribute, and it is justice for those who were killed, for those who had their lives taken, and for all those that had been killed by anybody in these terrorist camps. It was time for them to face karma. It was time for them to face justice. And India was the person that was going to get justice for those who were killed. And yeah, Pakistan should have been the one to deliver this justice to these terrorists, but they wouldn't. So somebody had to.
Shubham Dwivedi was another victim. The terrorists asked him whether he was Hindu or Muslim before shooting him dead. Shubham's father praised the Indian Army's action. His wife also thanked the government for the strike.
2 बजे से लगातार देख रहा हूं और मैं सलाम करता हूं अपने देश की सेना को और धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूं अपने देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को, जिन्होंने देश के 140 करोड़ जनता के मन की बात को समझा, दिल के दर्द को समझा, उसके दर्द को समझा, उसके गुस्सा को समझा, और जिस तरह हमारी सशक्त सेनाओं ने अदम्य साहस और शौर्य के साथ पाकिस्तान में पल रहे आतंकवाद का विनाश करने का काम किया है, उसके लिए मैं सलाम करता हूं, मैं धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूं हमारे देश की सरकार को।
धन्यवाद करती हूँ, उनसे बहुत थैंक यू कहती हूँ कि उन्होंने मेरे पति की मौत का बदला लिया है। जिस तरीके से हमारे पूरे परिवार को उन पे विश्वास था, उन्होंने उसी तरीके से जवाब देके हमारे विश्वास को कायम रखा है। एंड आई एम रियली थैंकफुल।
Agreed.
I'm sure it's a difficult time for the families, but we were waiting for some sort of action from India, and it has come today. 9 sites in Pakistan were struck overnight, 9 terror camps, 9 cities that are bases for terrorists in Pakistan, struck by Indian forces from Indian soil without crossing into Pakistani airspace. This is an evolving story. We're expecting a briefing, an official briefing shortly. We saw the markets open in the red, but they have since recovered. Both the Nifty and the Sensex are in the green, which shows some confidence on the part of investors, possibly hoping that this will not escalate into a full-blown conflict. All eyes on Pakistan, of course, to see how they respond to this. The world is watching. We're getting reactions from all over the world, and we're monitoring developments. I want to repeat what we started with, that there is a lot of fake news doing the rounds. Do not trust that. Verify your sources. Do not amplify unverified information, and stick to trusted sources of information. It is a time to be prepared, to be ready, but not to panic. We are tracking this for you here on First Post. Do stay with us.
That was a great video. India is not having it. They're not standing for it. These terrorists needed to be reminded, and they needed a message to be sent to let them know that India will not stand for it. Talk to me in the comment section. What do you guys think about this? It seems like a lot of Indians are happy with Modi for giving these terrorists the justice they deserve. That's all we have. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, get a bit of thumbs up, check out the next. I'll see you guys next time.